Metro Awakening launches on November 7th. This is the first game in the Metro series based on the Metro books to come to virtual reality. It's launching on Quest, PC VR, PlayStation VR 2, all of the normal channels. I actually got the chance to play about a 45-minute demo on the PC VR version of the game so I could bring my thoughts to you. Before we get started, I have not played the Quest version of this game. As it gets closer, I hope to get my hands on the game and try it out and bring my thoughts to you about that and the specific version of the game with visuals. But for now, this is just about Metro Awakening as a whole and how I feel about the mechanics. Visually, obviously, on PC VR, it does look really good. As you're seeing on screen now, just like with a lot of what Vertigo Games does, it looks fantastic when they can really pull out all the stops and not be restricted to the Quest platform. So it'll be interesting to see how these dark environments translate to the Quest itself. I haven't played much of the Metro games, so I don't really have anything to base this on except for the fact that the game itself felt really fluid, and I love a lot of the different little mechanics in the game. And the darkness of the game is terrifying, might I add, going through the Metro, especially when it gets dark. And you don't just face off against human foes. If you know anything about the Metro series, there's some messed up enemies as well. I only know enough about it to just know what Metro is. But some of the cool mechanics of the games are things like your headlamp, which you click by your head to turn on, and the battery pack that you use to charge it by actually cranking the battery to continue to power up your flashlight. Kind of like what The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners did by shaking the flashlight to repower it. This, you turn the crank and it repowers it. You also use it to power up different switches for doors or generators, things like that. You actually take the leads off of the box, attach it to where it needs to power, and crank it to power things up. It's a really cool mechanic, and it's something that I really enjoyed when I was playing through the demo. This game is obviously like a post-apocalyptic world type of game, and you get all those flavors in this in virtual reality. The environments and set pieces are really in-depth and detailed, and they look really, really good in VR. This is obviously, what I played is obviously an early demo, so there's going to be issues and early build stuff to deal with, but the mechanics already felt really good. It's got all the traditional VR stuff to it that you would expect in a game from Vertigo: manual reloading, physical holsters, interactions that are virtual reality, everything that you would expect from a VR game. This is not a port of a Metro flat game. This is a completely brand new game in the series, completely designed for VR, so you don't have to worry about it missing all those VR implementations. It's even got cool things like, as you're seeing on screen here, the mask that you wear as you're going through the toxic areas. You have to wipe the mask off as you're playing, and you also have to replace the oxygen or the filters on your mask as you go as well, or you'll essentially start to see weird things and you'll die eventually. Now, the human enemies are terrifying enough, and it's great to be able to play through the portions where you're fighting against actual humans. That, to me, is more of my jazz as far as the game goes. I'm not a big horror monster game type of person, but the spiders in the game, as you're seeing on screen here, are absolutely terrifying. And the sound effects in this game, even though it's probably not finalized, are awful in the sense that they actually mess you up. They sound really good, but they terrify you. I almost didn't make it through playing the game in portions of this, as I was just terrified by the ambiance around me and how black and bleak and dark things were. I'm going to show on screen now the brand new story trailer that gives you a better idea of the story of this game. You're essentially hunting or searching for this individual that is missing, and your goal is to find her in the Metro. There's this whole in-depth story, just like the other Metro games and the books that the games are based on. Obviously, the story is very heavy in this game, and you could already see that in the section that I played, even though it was still, an early demo. It was a press demo. It's meant to showcase the mechanics of the game and how the game plays and looks. And I left this game feeling very optimistic about how this is going to play. Of course, I've loved the games that Vertigo has done in the past that are first-person shooters, things like After the Fall or Arizona Sunshine 2. I love the games by this developer already, so I am very excited to get my hands on the final version of this game. Remains to be seen how to look on Quest. I think this is a Quest 3 exclusive. Don't quote me on that though, so hopefully we get some great optimizations for this game specific to the Quest 3, not held back by the Quest 2. Needless to say, I was thoroughly impressed by the physicality of this game, the physical nature of being able to, grab things and feel the weight, hit things, knock people out. I love the look of the weapons and the gear, and even the backpack system in this game is great. A lot of what they've done has really made the game flow and feel like a survival horror type of game, which is really what this is, right? At least in my eyes, Metro is a survival horror game. Maybe lighter on the horror, although it is still terrifying, especially to me, and more heavy on the survival, where you're kind of, making sure you have the bullets that you need to actually take out the enemies that are coming after you. But I think that Vertigo is the perfect studio to make a game like that in the Metro series, because it feels a lot like Arizona Sunshine in that sense, where in that game, if you're playing it on hard, you're counting every bullet and making sure you have enough ammunition and health and everything as well. This is kind of the same type of thing, just set within the Metro universe with a lot more mechanics, a massive story, great voice cast already from everything that I've heard. The mechanics feel, like I said, really good. Just overall, I don't know what else to comment on. I'm being honest here. I can't show the gameplay that I played. I would normally just talk you through this. I'm not used to talking about a game in a speculative form without being able to show you the gameplay. So I guess I'm just going to say the game looks fantastic on PC VR so far. It plays really well, even if there are things that could be better about it, but it is early, so I'm not even going to comment on those things, because this is just to show what the game is and the mechanics. We got over a month until it's even supposed to be out yet in November, on November 7th, I believe. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So far, Metro Awakening is a fantastic entry to a series that I have not played a lot of, but feels very much like a post-apocalyptic game set in a Metro universe, and the mechanics feel really good. We'll leave it at that for now. If you have questions, leave them down below, and I'll see if I can find answers to them. And I'll also keep an eye out on a Quest version so I can get those answers for you as well. Personally, very excited to play more of this, although terrified. Feels good, sounds good, looks good. Hopefully, Metro Awakening will be an amazing title launching in November, and everyone will enjoy the game. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned later today for some more extra special content about Kinect, and happy questing.